testing my broadband. Testing the broadband for my YouTube show. My name is Todd Standing. I believe I'm live right now. Waiting for the broadcast to be published. ... And here we go. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, depending on what time people from all over the world watch this show. So I just say good day, good evening. My name is Todd Standing. I do Sasquatch stuff. This is a show about mostly Sasquatch. Let's hope. Let's hope we get some. We always get some awesome, crazy. Hello, Kyla. Awesome, fantastic questions. And Kyle, good day, Sir SoCal's Force. My goodness, everybody's here today. Wow, we're all home on. What do we call it? We're all quarantined, I guess. Like people are here. Good day. I'll start with some questions that I got from Facebook that were pretty good. This pertains to Sasquatch, of course, and it's funny. Somebody from British Columbia and somebody from Washington State asked me this about unexplored wilderness. How much unexplored wilderness is out there? I think a lot. In personally, where I've been, and what do you mean by unexplored? Does it mean that this mountain has never been seen before, or does it mean a human being has never walked up this particular path on this particular mountain? I'm telling you, I got the spot I took Survivorman to in Radium, the spot where it's a very I don't know, it's like holy ground for Sasquatch. It's where I get incredible reactions. Survivorman filmed the top of the head of a Sasquatch. I mean, we had incredible success there. I don't think a human being's ever been there before, ever. And but even if there has, what, a human being walked past there? I mean, it's not that area. In many areas I've been to, I mean, I've hunkered down in Montana, Idaho, Washington State, in places I never saw a person ever, in significant weeks of time that I've been in these areas, right? So it's you have to be very specific. I mean, there's just maybe somebody's walked through that corridor, but have they walked up every section of that mountain? Have they been scouring? I mean, think about the amount of tracks that there are that have never been seen. It's tremendous. It's very significant. Certainly in British Columbia, my goodness, there is ridiculous amounts of area in British Columbia and Alberta, and then down into Montana. I've been to spots. I mean, again, did somebody ever go there? Well, what if somebody went there 5 years ago? Nobody's been there for 5 years. You're not going to have much trouble if you're a Sasquatch, and every 5 years somebody shows up for a week or so. You know what I mean? So there's really areas that are just so remote. It's really ridiculous to think that a Sasquatch couldn't live there. I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, when I take expeditioners out in the Nordegg area in Alberta, in British Columbia, I mean, they're very aware. If there are people around a little bit where we go, I don't know, there just hasn't been people there in a long time, and it depends on the level of expeditioner I'm dealing with, right? If I got my special forces, military guys, and I got some kick-ass firefighter, tough guys, martial art, Stefan's out with me, we're going hardcore. We're going to go kick some ass. We're going to go burn our legs out. And then other people that are, that aren't up for that and can't do that, we're going to take it a lot easier. So my expeditions are kind of at trying to be able to take out all levels of people. I have older people coming out, people that are 70 years old coming out this year. And but why not? John Bernagel was in his 70s when I took him out in the Nordegg area, and lots of places in British Columbia. So somebody asked me about expedition dates. Well, my expeditions have dates, but only the expeditioners know them. I keep that stuff private, just because. And I'm always going to be very private about my expeditions, specifically the dates, because I don't want anybody else out there. It's their expedition, and I just don't. Even there was an expedition where I had some people show up that weren't very nice, and they were very rude, and they were out there to damage the expedition and follow me around, and it didn't amount to much. That was an expedition I was out with Cody and a U.S. Ranger, and we were just like, see ya, So, and there is silliness like that goes on, but the expeditions are excellent. We always have so much fun. They're so wonderful. A couple more questions that I'll answer from Facebook. Do I ever take my dog out? I think I've talked about this before. I tried. My dog, I have a Rottie, and she's really good with bears and mountain lions and moose and everything, but a Sasquatch, forget about it. She gets really upset, and it's not good with the Sasquatch either. It's a totally bad situation on every level. I don't think the Sasquatch like her growling and barking, and she gets upset, and then the Sasquatch seem to kind of feed off that and want to cat and mouse her a little bit where she's the mouse. They seem to they kind of attack a weakness. It's the way it seems to me. They'll antagonize her, and they'll come around and they'll scare her more, and so it just doesn't work out. So I just don't take my I love my dog. It was almost late for my show. She got skunked today, and I had to go had to go give her a bath. And then always the comments come up about the hero cams, guys. Hero cam, first of all, in the majority of interactions that I have, it's audio. So hero cams are useless for audio. It's in a little plastic thing. The audio's crap, so it's absolute garbage. And then if it's daytime, it's never going to be in the right focus. I've actually got Sasquatch footage that I had a bloody hero cam on. I could see the Sasquatch with my eyes, but the Sasquatch stayed. It was the daytime, but the Sasquatch stayed in the shadows. And the Sasquatch was 50 yards away from me. I could see it clear as day, and I had that hero cam recording, and I went back. The footage is useless. It's garbage. It looks like there's something dark, could be anything moving in the shadow. So if you knew the amount of work and people think that cameras are just this magic thing that just work awesome, and they don't. They break down, they overheat. The new hero cam that I had was overheating the case when it was summer, and then it was not functioning, melting cards. The stupid little cards you put in them fail all the time because they're micro SD cards. They're highly unreliable, and the lenses get dirty or scratched, or there's a piece of something. The battery only lasts an hour. It's just so many things. You guys have no idea. I'll have an interaction with the Sasquatch that lasts for, they'll be around for hours. I'll sit out there 4 or 5 hours. What I'm going to do, change my hero cam battery every 45 minutes, and then my hero cam's overheating, turn it on and off and on. You know what though? The truth is, just the cameras that I have are better. I walk around with the camera over, like sitting on my chest, and I just hit the record button when it's around. So it's just people, honestly, it just seems like a lot of armchair quarterbacks are just, go talk to Survivor Man about how well hero cams work, and you'll realize they're not this wonderful, amazing thing. And the other question is about the stealth cams and those little game cams, they call them. Just when I put them out, again, we've talked about this lots before, as soon as I put them out, the Sasquatch don't come around. They're likely watching me put the darn cameras out. If you can teach me how to get past it, when I drive in, they're watching my truck drive in. They know it's me. They know I'm there for them. I only come there for them. These are highly intelligent beings. You play a cat and mouse game where you're a mouse and they're watching, they see, and so that's just the reality of how that goes. Whoa, there's the questions. We're bumping all over the place here. So I have an excellent internet connection. I'm very grateful for that. Who is this Andy? Andy Tornado. Hello, Andy. Hi. So Joanne is, what evidence can I look for if a Sasquatch is in my area? We have a stream and woods in my backyard. Ooh, what evidence? Well, if there's tree breaks, that's fantastic. Young Sasquatch seem to like to play with trees and bend limbs and twist things around, and it's pretty obvious when you see it. The ones there should have been some shown in an episode of Survivor Man, but he had so much other good stuff that he just didn't go with it. And but there's the young ones will play and bend and twist wood. Tracks are always a good sign. Wood knocking sounds, even odd bird sounds that sound really odd. The thing that's kind of cues me about a fake bird, a Sasquatch making a bird sound, is the volume. Is the power behind the volume. Birds have little tiny lungs, and they'll chirp in a big, but it's never booming and bass and powerful. So tracks. It's tree breaks are the big thing for me, honestly. And I know in a lot of places, like when I was in California, I never saw a tree break. So I was going on what other people even talk. If you can start a conversation. If you want to be really brave, put up a poster somewhere. Have you seen a Sasquatch? If so, call this number. You know what I mean? So I'm getting people talk to your neighbors, try to, local church groups, if you go to church, any sort of, don't be afraid to tell people. You got to be able to talk about it. If you're going to try to keep it secret and quiet and you want to learn about Sasquatch in your area, cooperation is powerful. So, but there's risks with cooperation, right? Because a lot of people are extremely difficult to get along with and aren't going to see things your way and are going to be, it's going to be hard. So take all those things into account. Trust me, I know. So, Chicken Soup Sasquatch, hey, how you doing? Could Sasquatch be a Neanderthal? Absolutely not. No way, Jose. No, no, no. They're just too big. They're just to me like Neanderthal. Even just there's just no way. They were burying their bodies in Langchun, China. Not burying. They were putting dead bodies in caves in Langchun, China before the Neanderthal were putting their dead in a certain place. So we're talking about a more advanced hominid here. And this is just what, the evidence shows, but no, not Neanderthal, just not. I mean, they'll have Neanderthal DNA since and I'm not a geneticist. I shouldn't even be talking about this stuff. Geneticists will hammer this stuff, and I don't want to make those mistakes. I'm just sort of, I don't want to do DNA. I had to do DNA because I couldn't get any damn geneticist that had the intestinal fortitude to come and talk. And that's what it's really about, is getting people brave enough to come out and say, okay, I saw the DNA. I was brave enough to even look at it and just admit the truth. And, people like to cover their own cover their own butts. They say ass, but anyway, it's still a paradigm, right? We're those of us that know Sasquatch are real are, on the curve. If 100 million people in the United States, and that's kind of what the stats show, 100 million people in the US believe Sasquatch is real or very probably real. Well, that's really promising numbers to me. I think that's amazing. That's real big success. However, 200 million people don't think so at all. So, we're still in the minority right now, but that's okay. It's a great discovery, right? And yeah, it's wonderful. How are Sasquatch adaptation to the infestation depositing 2020 harsh? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Lasha says, Todd, check Facebook, please. I wrote something out there, plus have some tool items and want to show you. That would be wonderful. I would like that. So I'll check Facebook somehow. Can you send me a message on Facebook? Lasha, I'll look for it. I get lots of emails. I really try to go through them because your comments and your evidence and your stuff is so important to me. A gentleman sent me hair, and I haven't been able to. I got to dig my microscope out. I hope it's not damaged at all. I moved in the last year, and still half my stuff is in boxes, so I got to go check. It's very important to me to do that, though. I was very happy, and I'm really excited to look at the hair, because there's a certain morphology in the hair that can help identify it as, well, hair. Would I be able to tell the difference between human hair and Sasquatch hair? I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna take multiple samples of hair from humans and look at this one, and there's certain characteristics according to Jeff, the great Dr. Jeff Meldrum, that he's got listed in his little pamphlet that I usually have right around here. I'll see it right now. Anyways, it's always so much stuff here. I am working on my next documentary. I want to have my documentary done really badly. Oh, and there's Amanda saying, Lasha, please write to us, bigfootencounter@gmail.com, which is the best way to get a hold of us. So Amanda will have a look at that stuff. Okay, so I'm trying to get through this. I really try to get through these. I'm not skipping anybody, guys. I really want to get through your questions. Just sometimes the thing jumps around, and I want to get to your stuff. I don't ignore people. I really I love these questions, and I'm so grateful you guys come on. I'd love to see Sasquatch play football. That would be not even funny, nor in black. Like, it wouldn't. Wow, right? Honestly, like even powerlifting, right? Like, you'd see them pick up those balls, those heavy balls of cement that powerlifters pick up, and they would just toss it like a little, you know what I mean? So, I mean, gorilla, they're twice the size of a gorilla, twice as strong. A gorilla in football equipment would be an absolute, it wouldn't even, it'd be so beyond, you know what I mean? It'd be like a cartoon, the whole football team couldn't stop a 900-pound Sasquatch. He would seriously harm people. Just it's that much, guys. There's so much power in these individuals. It's serious. It's crazy power. When you can understand the power that a bear has, or an elk, like these species that live out there are powerful, and these giant Sasquatch primates, I'm continuously absolutely blown away by the immense amount of power that I see them demonstrate with tree breaks and bashing trees around and throwing stuff. So, hi Todd, can Sasquatch open doors? Well, I would think so. I would think quite easily. Maybe the round doors. They're just so darn smart. But then there was years and years ago. I had this incredible encounter happen in the wintertime because the Sasquatch, in longer winters, when the winter was harder, they would come down to this around this reserve, and in the reserve they would have these berry meat, dried meats and stuff, and they'd be in these really cool bear-proof containers. And the Sasquatch wouldn't open the container; they would twist it. They would twist open the bear-proof container. Damn, that's some of I was filming this back when somebody broke it in my house, stole my computer. Now I don't have those photos and that footage anymore. But it was crazy. Like a bear can't bend and get into a bear-proof container. It's bear-proof, but not Bigfoot proof. And I don't mean because they were opening it. I mean they would bend it open, like, rolled steel would just get twisted and bent. But that's probably, I don't know if a gorilla couldn't do that. I've seen the way gorillas' enclosures are, and they use really heavy steel, like crazy heavy steel, because the silverbacks are so powerful. You can't take any risks with that, right? But the Sasquatch with that rolled steel. If any of you that goes to parks where there's black bear proof containers, they call it bear proof, but a lot of places you don't have brown bears. Black bears are super strong, and they'll get into things. Like, they're powerful, and the black bears have never bent open a bear proof container, and the Sasquatch absolutely can. The ones that they were using, the natives were using, were old retired bear proof that had just rolled steel. The Sasquatch would bend it and just twist it open, and unreal power, like just mind-blowing. Oh my god. Hi Todd, can Sasquatch open doors? I just read that one. The cameras that you put them there today, I walked with a friend through a sliver of their territory today. I dropped down in a ditch and my friend walked out and filmed them looking around for me. You see, so Morg White, you actually have Sasquatch footage? Well, I would love to see it. So please, let's have a look at it. If it's good Sasquatch footage, I'm very interested. So find a way to put it up somewhere. And with me, guys, I've never been accused and never will be accused of taking somebody's footage and putting it up or stealing it. I've never done that. I always work with permission, and I've 100%. No one has even complained about that. If you show me a photograph, if you show me footage and it's yours, and you don't want to share it, I'll be happy to look at. I'll do whatever you like. If you want it to be on my YouTube channel, I can put it out there. I can help you with whatever you want. If you want to keep it completely confidential, I literally there's over 100 people, hundreds of people have sent me stuff confidential. Some of it's been impressive, and I won't even talk about it. I'm very, very confidential about anybody who, like I have 2 new expeditioners this week, Dave from Alberta, and the other guy doesn't want to be named. Congratulations, Dave. I'm very excited to have spoken with you and that you're coming on the expedition. If you're watching this, and I don't think you are watching it now, but you'll be watching it later. Very excited to have you on board with all your knowledge and the people you've dealt with. And most of my expeditioners don't want to. I suppose if we were out and we filmed a Sasquatch and then they were there for that, they would want to talk about it and I would film that. But for the most part, when we get a encounter and when just great things happen, but it's not groundbreaking, they just want to. They're out there for themselves. They know what I've done. They know what footage. They've seen my stuff, and they're expeditioners are really out there to get their own experience, and I agree with that. That's why they're out there. So that's it. Let's get some more awesome questions here. You guys are amazing. Northwest Olympics. Government will try anything to keep proof away. The controlled science. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the governments aren't going to give us proof, but at the same time, what are they doing to hinder me, really? I'm doing everything I can. I don't feel tremendously hindered. I don't really the government's not put restrictions on me, and I've been to the US, I've been to Canada lots. I just go do my thing. I really feel like they're not helping and they're not participating, but private citizens, if I get footage, I'm putting it up and nobody's out in the bush stopping me. If I get incredible evidence, they're not out there policing me and trying to stop me. So do they have the technology? Could they do this? Well, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. But they don't. But at the same time, again, I'm not being hindered. And if some private citizen, if somebody had the financial ability to purchase the tools to make this discovery happen, then we could get it done. So, and that's kind of frustrating to know that, it's really comes down to monetarily, this discovery would be done. If a TV show or a major film company would come and sign the dotted line and, you know, make a deposit, we could get this discovery done. So it's really, at this point with me, it really is, you know, financial, you know, and I work with TV shows. I have TV shows coming out this year again, and, you know, just do the best we can. We'll see what happens. So, JJ Martinez, hello from New Mexico. How old has the Sasquatch been running around on Earth? Well, since they've evolved, right? How old do you think they are? Just they've always been here. I mean, they've evolved alongside us, right? So, you know, we all evolved back to a similar, like the way gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, humans, and Sasquatch all will evolve back to the same single species, right? So if you just look at the way the evolutionary chart is, but they've always been here. They're here. So how long ago did they diverge away from us? That's a good question. And, you know, I don't have charts and stuff in front of me, and I'm not, I'm not, you know, I could just access these things immediately, but just look at the charts, and you could see, I would say Sasquatch are closer to us. They've diverged off from us. We would definitely have a common ancestor closer than chimpanzees or gorillas, because we would have moved out of Africa around the same time. I think it was really Gigantopithecus too. I think it's really that far away. So, and Gigano, what are they? Hundreds of thousands of years old. So, and I don't mean to upset people. I know people don't follow the Gigano thing and they have other theories. It's just my theory. Don't, you know, that's just the way that's what the evidence most likely points to based on my experience and the evidence that I've been able to witness. I am a Gigantopithecus guy. That's where I'm on that level. So look up Gigantopithecus, and you'll see, you know, even Giganto is thought to have closest living relatives orangutans. So very interesting, right? But again, Giganto, all we have is the lower jawbone and teeth. So we're really extrapolating and deducing a lot of information from a very limited amount of evidence. So can Sasquatch be considered human-like? Absolutely. They may be the same species. The DNA shows that. I talk about that all the time. I'm always so uncomfortable talking about that, but just, yeah, have a look at the DNA. I have DNA, and I've done the DNA. Mine was done at Paleo DNA. I'm really pleased with the results, but I haven't had a full genome done. And that was a hard battle for me, guys, talking to Todd Standing and other geneticists that were just being very difficult and very elusive. And when push came to shove, I said, here's the DNA, and they just stopped talking to me. So whatever, it's all good. And yeah, it's just and the DNA, what the heck, you know, like, there is DNA. From what I've been told by experts and colleagues, the DNA out there is legit, real DNA. So did it bump? Did anybody care? You know, what about Jeff Meldrum and his tracks? He's had tracks accepted by the scientific community as from a living indigenous North American species. Nothing's happened. I go around telling people, I'll take you out and show you a Sasquatch. I don't care who you are. I'll show you a Sasquatch. Come out with me, and I do that. And, you know, shmeh, no big deal. So the truth is, just, it's crying wolf, right? So many people have hoaxed. There was that famous Georgia hoax, and tons of hoaxes and stuff, and then really bad information when it comes to, like, people say, well, the Patterson film's proven a hoax, and it's not. So, you know, but then there people will talk, you know, and say, well, this and this, and I saw that. Well, no, but it's not. The Patterson footage is real. Believe me, like Jeff Meldrum, John Benernagel, and myself, me as the tracker, looked at the tracks, and their years of hard work and determination. Even so many people have worked so hard, you know, trying to just prove or disprove, bring the truth out about the video, and it's real, guys. So, and you know, 99, as much as convinced as I could be, 99.9, I just can't see that footage. It's just not possible they fake that. There's too many impossible things they got completely right. It can't be fake. I'm sorry. Jeff has taught me, and John said, always have a little bit of a doubt, but there just can't be any doubt with that. Mid-tarsal joint in the foot. Like, don't get me going about the about how amazing that video is. Just amazing, and how amazing Bob Gimlin is as an eyewitness, and how lucky we are to have had a great man like Bob Gimlin. I never knew Patterson at all. Don't know anything about him, but I've met Bob Gimlin, and we're so fortunate that he was a man that was there, that witnessed that and saw it and has been able to talk about it, because he's an absolute hero of mine. I think the world of that man. From the limited time that I've had to meet with him, he's a very powerful man with a very powerful presence in a very humble way. It's amazing how he just pulls it all off. I really admire him a great deal, as you might have heard, judged just by what I'm saying. How big is Sasquatch? Ooh, I don't want to talk about that question. Just talking about the Sasquatch appendage, and not big, small actually. Why did you erase the Trump 2020 comment? I don't know. I didn't. It's not a politics show though. We're about Sasquatch, so if you for expeditioners, I'll tell you, one of the worst things that I could ever have is put a Trump guy with a person who doesn't like Trump. So I'm not into politics at all, but it's almost something I have to ask expeditioners when I bring out Americans. I got to make sure they're both either Trump supporters or Trump not supporters, because the heads people just get really upset about their politics. So and we're not about politics at all, guys. So not one little bit. Amanda, we would like to keep. Yeah, there you go. Amanda's saying just keep it about that. How do they determine who's the boss in their clans? Why? Just through. There's going to be Sasquatch fights, right? There's going to be. They're going to grow up wrestling together and knowing each other, and the cream rises to the top. And these guys are going to spend so much time around one another. So, they're a family. I mean, when you grow up with somebody. If I had people that grew up with brothers, like my sister, she's grown up with me. I've studied martial arts half my life. She's never gonna mess with me, and she sees something going down and she knows, oh, just let Todd handle it, because I'm trained with that stuff. So as family, she knows, and I've practiced my moves on her. I'd come home and do an armbar on my sister. I feel horrible saying that, but it's just a brother, right? You do that stuff. My sister knows how to get out of a Kimura. You know what I mean? She reverse learned arm bars and jiu-jitsu holds and martial arts stuff, and had a martial arts knowledge because of what her brother put her through. And I'm really feel bad about that, but not like I was abusive, just big brothers and sisters and stuff, right? So anyways, just the point is that family knows who's the cream separates. And then obviously when a new male comes around, that's a whole issue, right? A male takes over a troop, right? That's likely what happens. And then it's a fight, and the winner wins. So that's the way I'm assuming they do. Sasquatch are highly intelligent, but they're not civilized at all. So, and I've seen stuff out there where I feel like the females are really dominated. I've seen stuff where when dad yells, everybody shuts the hell up and listen. Like there's a discipline going on out there, because the dominant male, when he says something, I've never seen friction to it. When he screams, when the Sasquatch are coming around me, it's happening many times. They're coming around me, I'm starting to see them, they're emerging, and then I hear up in the mountain, and that's the big male saying, no more, too close, and everything is over. It's done. They back away. Nobody questions him. So, yeah. Except I think what I have seen though is really young ones will not listen to dad. So they'll run around and be little brats. So I've seen some of that, right? And that's what would I do as a dad if my little 2-year-old's running around not listening? You don't go spank him. You can't do that, right? So I've seen a lot of cases, like the Sasquatch that I witnessed, that I talked about on Survivor Man, the young one that was up on the mountain in Radium that came around really close to me. The parents were there, but they're not listening. I've seen it in the trackways where little one's mom will pick up the little one and walk and then put him down, and he runs off and she tackles him in the snow. And he was out there banging on someone's house. She had to go grab him. So I've seen that with the younger, smaller Sasquatch, right? So, but I tell you, when now my son's a little older, probably about 7, 6 years old, 5 even, maybe even 4. He started to calm down, right? And just naturally, not through anything other than my son was like a kamikaze. He'd run off. I had him on a sailboat, and my little boy, I can't remember how old, he's like 3. He kept trying to run off the boat. So one day we docked the boat. I go, let him run off. Put a life jacket on. So he runs off. He falls in the freezing cold ocean water. I pull him right out. And I go, you gonna do it again? And what did he do? Yeah, he did it again. And I thought, okay, he's not learning. Now he's learned how fun it is to jump off the darn boat into the ocean. So, as a father and as a Sasquatch's parent, there's nothing, you just gotta, but eventually, so I take my son out mountain biking, I take him snowboarding, and then I take him on he goes on a scarier run and he learns, whoa, I don't want to go down there because if I fall, that hurts. So as they get older, they'll learn just based on, let dad handle things. Maybe they'll get a little scratch from a mountain lion, or they'll get a little charged by a bear, and then they'll have a scare happen to them, which what happened to my son. He started getting concerned about mountain biking. He started to get a little conservative, and then he became a really, really good boy. And I see all the reason I'm saying this is I feel like the Sasquatch, I'm seeing a level of discipline, respect, and admiration for the big male, significantly. And probably one of the best areas I was having success with Sasquatch coming around, I talked about it a minute ago, where the young guy was running away from the mom. It's because I think the dad died the year before. There were no signs of him. He was gone for 2 years, and then the Sasquatch, all I saw was two teenagers, a male teenager, a female teenager, a mom, and a young one, maybe 3 years old, let's say, approximately 3, 4, something like that. And that young one wasn't listening, and it was always mom and the two teenagers. Mom went and got him first, and the teenagers would help bring him back, but I never saw any signs of dad. And it led, even the teenagers were being brats. Even the teenagers were doing stuff that I don't think normally a Sasquatch would allow, because dad's not around, right? So dads are important in a child's life, and I feel like all the Sasquatch troops I've been to, I've never been to which. I go out there because there's a troop of Sasquatch out there, because there's a group of them, there's a family. That's why I'm out there. I'm not out there because the Sasquatch passed by here and there's no more activity. I'm out there because it's a territory, and there's a family there, a family unit. And the Sasquatch are old school. This is, the dad runs it, right? He's the big top of the, as far as I know anyways. I mean, always there's a feminine influence, of course, but the dad is the big boss, where, when bad stuff starts falling down, dad says no, dad says yes. And and in fact, I haven't seen anything to indicate a female presence. Just maybe 2 or 3 things where the mom is like watching out for the kids, but that's it. So I really admire that, because family is important, guys. Family is hugely important. It's such a big deal. Family, dads and moms, and having a family unit is really, really important for children. And I feel like there's always that structure with a Sasquatch. So do they eat chicken, their newborn? I don't know what that means. Do they eat and then it's like a chicken bone, their newborn? Well, no, they're not going to eat their children. They're not cannibals. You see, I would never, we're getting out, like, that's a question. It's a little, yeah. So the president is trying to protect Sasquatch. I'd like to see evidence of that. Okay, Lasha, Todd, what can we do with the people who are spending a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and want to go kill Bigfoot? There's nothing. You can, Lasha, you can understand that when you go out to kill or hunt a Sasquatch, you're really gonna lose. You go out there, they know what guns are. You go hunting, they're so smart, Really, Lasha, it's like throwing a teenager in the UFC ring with John Jones, the greatest fighter in the world. So I'm not terribly worried about it, honestly. Their intent is wrong, and when they get some people with integrity, if you're going to get a good tracker, like a great tracker, the tracker's going to say no. He's not going to do it, I know that the best trackers I've ever seen, the most gifted trackers I've ever met, will never, ever even go. They don't even. What's happened with me is, so my native teacher has passed away, a wonderful, wonderful teacher of mine. But there's still one young tracker. He's not young. He's like 35 now, I guess, whatever that age you think that is. But the point is, if I ever go missing, he'll come and find me in Sasquatch habitat, as long as the Sasquatch don't mess with him and stop him and block him. As long as it's an easy go. He could find me. Doesn't matter where I go, that man will find me. He's brilliant. He'll find me as fast as he could hike to me. His tracking ability is as good as ever. It's Sasquatch good. But he stays away from Sasquatch, and yeah, as long as he doesn't have to go through a Sasquatch or get stopped by a Sasquatch, he'll go find me. So, yeah, That's so, when you're at that level, when you're that good and you know Sasquatch are real, you're not going to go, why go risk your life and potentially get killed and take on even, I think to get to that level, you have to have a certain spiritual connectivity and love of nature. And if you have those things, you're not going to go be crazy and do stupid stuff, right? If that makes sense. I understand it, it's, yeah. Anyways, it's when you're that, I don't know, when you're that good, that would be a guy I would worry about, and he would never go near. He would never track a Sasquatch. So I think when you get to that elite level, you gotta have that spiritual connection, and now you're not gonna mess with Sasquatch. You're gonna admire them. So that's my hope anyway. I mean, technology will break that eventually. Eventually, technology will be so good that we will be able to. Right now, if I had $1 million, I would follow Sasquatch around for a year. So the technology currently exists. It'll be very accessible to people very soon. And then what are you going to do? Then, actually, even now, I guess people could use technology and kick their ass. I don't know. Now you're making me a little concerned. But anyway, I know. See, even with me though, if I had the technology, it's still me. The Sasquatch know me, they respect me, and that's why we get that success. If you're out there with guns to shoot them, they're just not going to come around you. They're not going to tolerate you. They're never going to let you get that initial foothold, which is what I have, that could get me up that to that level of proof, right? So that's just my 2 cents about it. Willie says, how bad has this great obsession with I agree with and without a doubt in my mind affected your relationship with your immediate family? How's this relationship? Well, I mean, if I have, I don't know, family's family, they love you and support you. I admire some stories I've been told where, a family member comes forward and says Sasquatch are real, and everybody else in the family just says they're real then, because my dad said so, or my uncle said so, and my uncle never lied, and my uncle told me like it is, and my uncle would know. So, when you have good integrity in your family, you don't worry about stuff like that. Like really heartfelt, amazing integrity, And I have relationships like that with my family where there's just no quit. No matter what happens, we don't quit on each other. We're always there for each other, and my family has shown that many, many times. So, and I'm fortunate to have that, right? Todd, how do male Sasquatch? Well, I don't know how they fight. They're just gonna fight. How do gorillas fight? So, I maybe that is maybe I should address that question just for a second. I don't know. It would probably be very impressive because Sasquatch are gonna grow up wrestling each other. They're gonna grow up, knowing how to wrestle with their kind of power, and it's going to be impressive. I mean, the way they handle a bear. I've just been around when I was around when a bear got its ass handed to it by a day watcher Sasquatch who wasn't really even that big, and the only way in my mind that could happen, because bears are awesome predators. This was a over 600-pound grizzly bear taking on a Sasquatch who was comparable weight, maybe less, maybe a 500-pound Sasquatch. And he took care of that bear like nothing. And the only way you could do that is by having an ability to know how to manage those teeth and those claws, those paws. You know what I mean? You've got to know how to hold them this way, maneuver that way, toss them that way. So there's going to be a skill level because they're so intelligent. So watching two Sasquatch in an altercation would be awesome pay-per-view event of all time, right? So anyway, that's how I feel about it. So and how they fight, I would just have no idea. So no clue. I'd never seen that. So yeah, and I'd like to. The next time I was around where I believe two Sasquatch had an altercation, but I didn't realize it at the time. If I ever was around for something like that in the future, I would get my ass out there. I would film and track. I would spend days looking over the tracks and seeing how they stood off against each other and any evidence I could get that there was an actual altercation. So, yeah, that's something I would really look forward to doing. It's something that would be of a high priority. And I'll always remember the sounds that I heard, the crash. It was just like two King Kongs were just going at each other. It was pretty awesome, pretty terrifying. But remember at the time that this is a discovery and I didn't know. I was scared. I was like, what the hell? I was terrified. And everybody, I know everybody's a big hero and everybody's braver than me, and I get it. You would go out there and you would be right out there. No, but I wasn't. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and yeah, I just my priority at that point after I heard this, what I believe now was two Sasquatch fighting, I just went home. It was home time. Like there is a point where I'm out on an expedition and the big males coming around consistently. I'll talk to the expeditioners. That's never happened where a big male came around and was intimidating to us. But if it did, there was a time when a male came around once, and I told the expeditioners, I'm like, guys, are you comfortable with that? Like, this guy can flip over our truck. This guy can do. It's not cool when the big male's coming around a lot. In my, just from in my own experiences, I just want the younger males to come around and interact with us. That's kind of ideal research for me, because in my experience, the dad just doesn't play. This is his home. He's got a whole family to take care of, and he's not out there to. He's got nothing to prove. He just oversees, and even the younger males come and hang out and do stuff because the dad approves of it. But again, there's a point where he says that's enough too, right? So Jay Ski says, what age and why did Sasquatch leave their family unit? Well, I wouldn't know. I just logically you'd say, well, a daughter is going to leave her dad, right? When she becomes breeding viable, she's going to just have that natural urge to go on her own. And same thing with males, right? When males get older, he's not going to want to breed with his mom or his sisters. Just the incest taboo that's within species. He's going to want to go out, and that's why even maybe new groups can be formed, right? Because a male can go out and maybe he's not going to be able to take over a troop. What if he finds wandering females, and what if it's just a pair? What if a male finds a female and they just like each other and they fall in Sasquatch love, right? And then they have that could happen, right? Maybe that's what was happening in the Morley Indian Reserve I was working. There was a big male and a female, and and then the offspring. So maybe that's what happened with those two. Most times, though, in Radium and Nordig specifically, and even in Montana, different places I've done research, I do see a troop, like multiple individuals, like elders and the whole thing going on there, right? So, yeah. Kevin says, talk about them with males wanting females. What about females wanting males, indoor little children? I think I know what you're talking about. So Kevin Miller talks about I thought about this a lot because right in the beginning of my research days, there was something that the natives talked about where if you see a Sasquatch, they'd say, cover your children up. It took me a while. I had to ask quite a few elders, why? Why would you want to cover your children with a blanket? This happened in a particular spot. Oh, man. It was a really popular sighting back in the day. It was in British Columbia. The Sasquatch came in, and the woman that saw him threw a blanket over her children like the elders told her and left, and then Sasquatch came in and dumped over a barrel of salmon and started eating it. It was one of those sorry, I can't remember the name of it right now for the life of me. It was so long ago. But what my theory was back in those days is like a gorilla, when a baby dies, they become really depressed and unhappy. They're terribly unhappy. So let's say you're a Sasquatch mom and your 2-year-old runs off and falls off, something bad happens, so I don't want to, falls off a cliff or they can't find the body. Well, wouldn't a mother want to go find another baby? Maybe. So I don't know. That's just my thought process is I can't see any other reason the elders would tell the native people to throw a blanket over, hide the children, keep the children away, other than the Sasquatch have taken children. And why would Sasquatch want to take children? Well, maybe for that reason. A grieving mother would be terribly upset, and yeah, so I don't know. Prune Salon, Todd, do you feel that proving it will affect them and put them in more danger? Well, again, that's a really complicated question. I talked about that a lot. It's about the truth ultimately. What I feel is I feel that lying and saying they don't exist is not good. At the end of the day, there's arguments on both sides. At the end of the day, I'm about truth and justice and honor and integrity. And the truth is they exist. And no matter how painful that truth is, that truth has to come out. And that's I do have concerns. I do have, there will be bad stuff that happens, but aren't bad. Isn't it worse now? Earlier we were talking about hunters. Hunters can go kill them. If you, I talked to wildlife officers ago. If I actually had an issue with this, a real issue, a genuine issue about people hunting and killing them, and I was I was telling these wildlife officers this, and they go, well, if they shot a whole family of Sasquatch and threw it in the back of a truck and drove down Main Street here in the city and went right past me, I couldn't give them a ticket because that species doesn't exist as far as I know. So they haven't committed a crime. So, you know, that's where we're at now. There is nothing right now. You can go kill a Sasquatch. Nobody does. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are areas in Washington where it's illegal, right? That's how awesome this discovery is. There are people that have said you can't even shoot a Sasquatch out here. It's a $50,000 fine. That's very, what, two places in Washington have that? You know? So that's why Washington is such an awesome state. Man, I love Washington. My goodness, love Washington. Washington, Idaho, Oregon, Montana, Northern California. I just love that's Pacific Northwest stuff. I make no apologies about it. I have a real romance going on with those places, and lots of people are telling me about discoveries and incidents they're having that are really awesome all through those places, and I'm so excited. That's home to me. British Columbia, Alberta, all the way down into Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. That just feels like home to me, guys, for real. It just, I love that terrain. I know it so well. So you put me over on the East Coast, and it's different. It's definitely different. But anyway, I feel home. And Mark says Morley, Kananaskis. I work there. Yeah, Morley's right beside Kananaskis. I've actually hiked through Kananaskis and into the Morley Reserve on many occasions just by accident because I don't know where the boundaries are, right? So thank you, Philman, for your compliment. I really appreciate it. Norm Black says, what is the top running speed for... And we talked... There's a video that I did about that. You should look on my YouTube channel, how fast Sasquatch are. I really talk about that in detail. So, and they're fast, man. But I don't know about the all fours. Yeah. I'm actually... I'm not... I don't think that all fours thing just doesn't make sense to me. I've never seen it in the trackway, other than it was purposeful. It was ducking under something and a fist hits and a couple hands have to come down to manipulate that weight. But ultimately at speeds, I just don't think it would be anatomically... I can't see it happening with their arm lengths and their body weight and mass. And I have no experience with that. Every time I've seen them move, it's all bipedal. It's really, really impressive bipedal movement. Immensely impressive. So they're so impressive bipedally, why go to all fours? And that's what's so amazing about this discovery is talking about the apex species out there, guys. It's not wolves, it's not bears. They are the apex species. They're kicking ass out there. They're incredible survivors. And, you know, they're making a Planet of the Apes movie in a spot where there's Sasquatch watching them make this movie. I'm not even kidding you. I was in a research area with a colleague of mine where we're following Sasquatch around and Sasquatch are doing stuff. And I go, what's all that over the hill with all those rigs and all those people? Oh, they're filming Planet of the Apes. And you go, really? They're filming Planet, there's real primates right here and they're making it up and CGing it all. It was hilarious to me. And literally, we could see the Sasquatch were watching. They're coming up on the hill and they're overlooking what these guys are filming and doing with cameras. They're creating a fake documentary about fake primates that don't exist in a Planet of the Apes movie when there are much cooler, awesome primates right here, right in front of you. You know? So that is hilarious, right? You gotta think that is just so funny. I got such a kick out of that. Donna Spangler says, okay, one more time. Are you aware of any of the medicine they use? Oh, well, no. For goodness sake, Donna, like my research is, again, they put some stuff on. I had an injury on my leg once, and they put some pine sap mixed in with some cool stuff. I don't even know what it was. So, and I'm not really medicinal organic medicine. That's such a rich topic. I mean, the people that do that well, they work so hard. I have so much respect for them. I wouldn't even care to delve into that. Those people that do that are amazing. And so I just have that one experience ever and nothing more than that. So remember, I can't even get, I have trouble getting new video evidence. And I mean, this is not, you want to make me laugh, call me a Sasquatch expert. Call anybody a Sasquatch expert. Oh, you're an expert. Oh, okay, so to be an expert, I mean, what they know about bears and wolves. People can tell you stuff like, oh, wolves do that. They're going to move here. They're going to come from high ground that way. They always move in these directions. They're coming. That's it. That's a level of expertise with wolves or bears, or you know what I mean. There's nobody that, I don't know anybody that could ever profess that. So maybe there is, but it's not me. And what they're eating at certain times. There's so much. I just have absolutely no clue. I will make deductive. I'll make hypothesis, and I'll deduce things based on primate behavior and what I've witnessed, and how I think it must be. I think I've seen evidence they move the elk around. I've seen so much evidence of that, and there's more. I've worked with biologists that didn't understand about elk herds that were moving around, and yet the young males had a high death. All the evidence that came out about, wow, they're really eating the elk. They're moving the elk. They eat the elk that are the tastiest, youngest elk. Those are the ones they go after. The females are almost untouched. The wolves never mess with these elk. The herd population is very consistent. It doesn't make any sense. No matter what happens with the wolves, these elk the population of this elk is untouched, and it doesn't make any sense that the males 3 to 4 years old have a 95% mortality. That doesn't make sense in the wilderness. That's a big, strong male. Why are the young surviving so well? And why are these? And the answer is because that's the most advantageous time a farmer would take the cow. A farmer takes a cow when it's big and tender and the best, right? That's exactly what the Sasquatch, the evidence is showing that. So that's amazing. That is absolutely stunningly amazing. Hard to believe, perhaps, but it's in the biology, guys. We're seeing it clear as day. So very, very awesome, profound stuff. Arthur says, Todd, you and I have a mutual friend, Ephraim. He and I have talked about your awesome work and hope to come see you. Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Arthur. Yeah, wonderful. I love collaborating. It's immensely important to me. Andy says, Thomas, Woody, they might be partially colorblind, maybe more research. Yeah, more research, more evidence. Absolutely. So I would think that they would be at least partially colorblind because their night vision is so good. That would just fall into place, right? But then again, they're going to eat those berries and stuff. So partially, and how much? That's a really good question. So, but again, I make certain deductions based on, I know they have excellent night vision. Their eyes have they glow a little bit. I can see their eyes at night, just a little bit. Like they don't glow bright like a mountain lion, nothing like that. But you can see it. And, that's human beings' eyes don't glow. Even their, they don't have any whites in their eyes. The lack of sclera, as Jeff Meldrum calls it, right? The total dark of the eyes, right? So lots of biology there that's very interesting to talk about, and would be very interesting to. I like theorizing. I like talking because it helps the research. Because I'm boots on the ground a lot, and yeah, I really enjoy that. I find that stuff immensely advantageous, knowing that Sasquatch can do this. Sasquatch are capable of that. Sasquatch would elicit this behavior based on this information and this evidence and this knowledge we have. So, and gorillas have a tremendous amount of similarities with the Sasquatch from my observation. Okay, we're bouncing around a lot here. Let's see if we can. One final attempt from Clintrock. One final. How about immediate family, such as brothers, sisters? Have they seen Bigfoot, or do? Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about my family situation right now. It's lots of stuff going on with me with that, but my family know me and love me and support me, and so yeah. But let's just stick to the Sasquatch stuff here right now, guys. So, do you think Bigfoot can see infrared? No. Infrared? Poon Salon. The deer cannot see infrared. So infrared light, I've shined an infrared light in a deer's face. They cannot see it. So yeah, that's not. Deer can see low levels of light, but certainly not infrared. I have an infrared spotlight. I shine it on animals all the time. They have absolutely no reaction to it, no more than I do. Shine the spotlight right in my eyes, and it's with that proper filter on your camera, it shows up like a spotlight. But with your naked eye, you can't see nothing. It doesn't even. It would damage your eye. It would damage a deer's eye if I shined a spotlight in his eye and they can't even see it. But infrared, you can pick it up with a special filter on your camera. There's no animal, there's no species. Well, I think snakes can see heat. snakes can see thermal. They call that thermal. They can see heat at short distances, very short distances, but that's still, is that infrared? No, it's not. So much, there's so much to learn with this stuff, guys, and I apologize if I'm making errors once in a while. Really, I'm having to do the biology, the physics, science, the spirituality, the tracking. Then I got to direct and produce and edit and computers and programs and software. I'm really not. I don't have a mastery of things. I have a high skill level. I can produce a movie. I can take people out and show them tracking, and I love tracking, and I'm very devoted to it, and I'm a student of it. But there's just certain things that I just do the best I can based on what I need for this discovery to move forward. The guy with the big something studios. Do you ever hear the story of the woman, Hinkler? I don't know what that is. That was taken up a mountain and thrown off a cliff, and then they said she was thrown so far, no human. Oh my God, no, I had never heard about that. I don't really. This goes into another question. People ask me about the 411 stuff, and I think they're doing great work. I'm not interested in how Sasquatch kill people and how Sasquatch steal people. I'm not. Go do that work. I think those, obviously, those incidents are rare. But, go do the work, and that's wonderful. If that's what they want to do, go study when Sasquatch kill people and when Sasquatch take. I'm not interested in that at all. And I hope you can understand. I go face to face with Sasquatch. I see them. I'm not going to study how bears kill you and tear you apart and how they'll eat you and rip you. I don't care. That's not my interest. My interest is how to avoid bears, how to interact with them appropriately in my environment. I don't study the killing and the mauling and the deaths and the murders and how many. Those are not my stats. And you can kind of understand how that's not helpful to me. I'm about prevention. And that's with bears. I'm about prevention of having them come around me and interact. I want bears gone. I don't want any bears around. I don't want mountain lions around. They're dangerous predators. We don't play with that stuff. So that's what my study is how to avoid them, how to be safe in their areas because they're dangerous predators, when moose are dangerous or not. That's what I study. So, and with Sasquatch, those are the things I'm concerned about are how to interact with them, how to have that success. I will not study. Basically, if a Sasquatch this is where my study ends. If a Sasquatch latches on you, they do whatever the hell they want with you. I can't do anything. I wouldn't even shoot one. So I would get killed. If I drew my gun on a Sasquatch, the other Sasquatch would kill me. So I don't verse them, and I don't study versing them. I'm all about avoiding that. And you'll hear me talk about that. When a Sasquatch is coming around doing this, we sit down and eat grass. There's certain things that we do, certain reactions we have to help move the discovery forward, not concerning myself about if they come to kill you, you're in deep trouble. If you think they're going to harm you, that's what I've been concerned about. That's why I talk about the big males. If you think they're going to harm you, time to leave. Get out of there. Playtime is over. If he's warning you he's going to hurt you, leave. That's what I do. And that's what I would tell people to pay attention for. If you really think, if they're really being aggressive, if they have boulders they're tossing at you, if they have sticks they're smashing in the ground that they're showing continuous hostility towards you, sell the place and get out of there is my suggestion, right? So Todd doesn't shine spotlights on them. That's correct. And I haven't seen them. That is absolutely correct, Amanda. You shine a light in a Sasquatch's face, and that freaking expedition that's a bad day. It's just not. It's not a good thing. We don't do that. So, for so many reasons, I've talked about that before. JJ Martinez, you said that they used pine on your leg. Well, I'm not sure. Sap. So, about pine, it has a lot of healing, rich vitamin C and A and iron. Great. See, I don't. Yeah, that's awesome. I know a little bit about that stuff. But it was a few things, right? It was really amazing. Hey, Ashley from Washington. Was it you, Ashley, that asked me the question about Washington State territory that is still untouched by man? So I talked about that at the beginning. If you didn't get to see that, so Donna Sprangler, what would your favorite behavior they have? What would be your? Just right from the heart is where they're having fun. Fun is my favorite behavior. When they're having a good, that's why Survivor Man filmed the top of the head of a Sasquatch. They were having a good time. We were just entertaining them. When it's fun, when the young males are coming around and having a good time and having fun with us, even they'll be what seems to be very aggressive and they're still having fun. They're enjoying themselves. If I'm not fun, they're not going to come around. That's what all my success is based on. So I want to have fun. They want to have fun. When we're having fun, that's my favorite thing about. I think they're fun. I think they have a sense of humor. I've heard a couple times where it's just there's just that's pretty funny. Like, man, and they own me so many ways. They're so dominating out there. I feel like they're always trying to get something into my head. They're always trying to teach me something, and I really have to pay attention and really learn, and don't miss things, and take your time and track. When I'm out there, when we're on an expedition, and especially when we're going out, I don't want to go fast. I need to go slow. I can't absorb all the information, the wind gauge, the tracks on the ground, the trees, the birds, all the sounds, the sound of my partner that's out there with me, or partners, and how they're moving, and watching how the terrain's changing, and maybe it's dangerous for mountain lions here, maybe it's dangerous for bears over here, maybe it's dangerous for an avalanche. There's so many things, and I just got to move slowly. So, and this, and I don't mean like walk. We just go at a walking pace, and sometimes it's hard to keep that because you're going up hills and we take breaks, and it's not a death march. And I'm always grateful for taking those breaks and stopping and having a look around, because it's so much information. If you understand tracking, so much information is going on at all times. And if I was running, forget about it. If I was jogging, you're not going to pick up I can't pick up nothing while I'm jogging or running. So, but then there'll be times where I do want to get my ass in high gear because I need to get into Sasquatch habitat. So initially, like let's say for the first day, I'll jog in. I will move my ass because if I jog to that point, I'm cutting a day out. I'm moving twice as fast. If I can get in somewhere twice as fast, I can spend twice as much time in there. I'm only out for, let's say, 10 days I'm gone for. If I hustle my ass for 2 days and hustle my ass back the last 2 days, well, instead of those 2 days being 4 days, they're 1 day and 1 day. So I have 2 more days out there. So I will hustle to get into my spot. So, that's just how I do things. If it's appropriate, if I'm trying to get to a spot, if I want to get somewhere and have some success, I'll go kick some ass. But for the most part, to really know what you're doing, even guys, it's so dangerous to jog around. I see it so often. People don't really talk about it, but when you're in an area where there's bears and stuff, and you're jogging around, like they're joggers, they put in the earbuds, they go for a run, and a bear sees you, and you're in so much trouble. And I've heard it so many times. I don't know why nobody's talking about it. Where, don't run past a bear. I know you're jogging, but he doesn't know that you're jogging. And you got your earbuds in, he'll come out and chuff and give you, and then you just don't pay attention because you didn't hear, and you got your earbuds in, and you're going for a jog, and then people get really harmed from that. So, or you move into a position, you'll come up on a bear, and that you didn't know he was there, and you're moving too quick. It's so many things that just can really cause damage, right? So, it doesn't feel, honestly, from the heart of me, it doesn't feel respectful to go into a place so complicated like that and go running in with having no idea about your terrain or what you're doing or the mistakes you're making. It's not responsible. So I won't be jogging through berry areas. I jog through the desolate areas where there's no food sources, right? And there's not much for high ground, so the mountain lions aren't going to be interested in me. There's no water sources for the mountain lions to be, monitoring. And there's so many things. I can go on for an hour about why it's okay to jog here, but not over there, and not down here, and be careful over there, right? So open area, I can see things really wide. A place that's been burned out, let's give her. This is desolate all through here that I can see really well, and there's no reason for animals to be foraging and moving in this area. I'm just going to go for a run through here, right? Just to get to my point. But for the most part, especially when you're learning, don't do that. Do not go jogging through wilderness habitat. Very bad idea. Okay, just a couple more questions, guys. Such a fun show. Danzig Skylark. The loggers had Sasquatch interactions daily and were told never to say a word by their superiors. And they should, though. Loggers will lose their jobs. They have jobs. So I'll tell you, in the Nordig region, in that particular area, what do they call it? Clearwater County. Somebody said, the bear population's in danger. So they shut down all logging, all industry for 4 years to study the bear population. People lost their jobs. Families were damaged by that. And this is the way it is. That's life. That's what happens. So loggers will go, well, and they remember that in Canada. They know, hey, remember that time that Nordeg area got shut down? We lost all our jobs for 4 years. Like 4 years, man. That's devastating to a driver or somebody who does that stuff for a living. And I don't want to stop industry. I'm not out there. I'm not. I have wood. There's wood in my house. Wood made my house. I'm not going to sit here and go, I don't want logging. No, wood is a commodity. It's an industry. There's a way we can do it responsibly, and knowing that Sasquatch exists, we can be more responsible with our logging. I don't want to stop industry, but my point is, people that have jobs, man, when you have a family and you this is your job and you need this job to support your family, that guy's going to shut his mouth when he sees a Sasquatch, and he should be. Because have you ever been there? I don't know how many men or mothers are out there going, my job is my family, I feed my family. How many of us are out there working every day to support our families? I was there. I've only been a full-time Sasquatch researcher for the last maybe year and a half. Before that, I was working. I had a job. I worked at a mill. You know, I've had jobs before that. I've fallen on my face. I went there to support and feed my family. And if that mill would have gotten shut down, I wouldn't have been able to feed my family. You know, I can't spend time with my children and do things with them because I got to work 2 damn jobs. This is real life. This is you know, the theory of it's all wonderful and everybody's wholehearted, but when you tell a man, hey, you talk about that Sasquatch, you're gonna lose your job. He's gonna shut up, and most people will. So you know, that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, I don't know. That's the world that we live in. Money really matters, and yeah. So I guess that's our show for today. One more question, Fuzzy Cat. Are there dense forests in Nevada? Oh, you're just talking amongst yourself because I don't know that answer. But anyways, thank you so much. Thanks Amanda and Phil for watching the chat room here. You guys are awesome. Phil's, is there some question here? Fuzzy Cat, watch the show Expedition Bigfoot. They found an abandoned mine that had fresh green bedding inside and hair samples of Sasquatch. Well, and if they did, you know, put up or shut up. Get those hair samples analyzed, right? It's hard to trust those shows because they're so fake. Like I was on an episode of Discovering Bigfoot. Those guys don't give a shit about discovering Bigfoot. They don't care. They just want to. It's just about entertaining people with whatever kind of crap they can come up with. They just don't care. They'll BS everything, and it's very, very fraudulent. So I wouldn't trust. You know, so many shows out there are so fake, so fraudulent. Reality TV is fake. You need to look for a documentary style television. I make documentaries about Bigfoot. Survivor Man's TV show was documentary style Survivor Man. There's no scripts. There was no camera crews. It was real. That's how stuff, and that really doesn't happen. I can't think of, out of all the film stuff I've ever seen, it just doesn't really, it's so freaking rare. When I'm in a TV show, I keep it honest. You know, as best I can, but I don't know. It's weird. TV shows are so much about money and the editing and just having the viewership, and they don't really care how they get it. And it's not. It's very low integrity stuff. Very, very low. That's why I haven't done a TV show, and I haven't been able, the only person I could ever really do TV with was Survivor Man. That guy is freaking legit, and trust me, the names have come in, all the top names. I'm not going to start throwing names, but top names in TV call me and have this brand idea, and I go, really, you know, big movie stars. Oh, we're going to do this and do that. Okay, well, first thing you need to do is get permission to come out to my research area. They go, what do you mean? You have an insurance. These big stars, they're going to do a production with me. Let's say they'll work with me for 6 months, but they got a production after that and after that. And when somebody like a big name, Tom Hanks, let's just say, I never had anything to do with Tom Hanks, but let's say Tom Hanks says, hey, I'm going to come do some work with you. Well, you're scheduled to do multi-million-dollar productions after this, right? Right. So your insurance company has to cover you to come out here, right? Right. And the insurance company goes, you do not go out there. You cannot go into those areas. They'll go through the list of why it's way too dangerous and you can't go there. And I said that to Survivor Man. I was actually just pretty much done with these TV shows. We can't go out to those areas. We can't go too far off the road. We need this and that and helicopters, and there's none of that stuff is there with me, guys. You're in the hella remote, crazy areas. There's no advanced life support. If something happens to you, you're really in. It's dangerous. Stars won't go out to there and do that stuff. Only Survivor Man did, and Survivor Man has little things that he does. he's been doing this stuff for over a decade, so he's old school, and he had insurance coverage, and he had all these things handled. So, and he actually taught me that stuff. That's how I had life insurance and policies and that sort of stuff, right? Because he taught me the little loopholes, because it's really difficult, and most people won't tolerate that. As soon as you tell them it's dangerous, they don't go in there and they won't do it. So, that's the problem with one of the many problems with TV shows, So I remember Survivor Man telling me he was talking to Discovery Channel. He was on Discovery Channel, the Survivor Man Bigfoots that I was in, and they said, "What are you going to do?" That he called me one day. He goes, "Oh, these network executives! I wouldn't believe the crap I had to deal with today, Todd." And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Like today, they were asking me, what are you going to do that Finding Bigfoot hasn't done?" He looked the guy right in the face and said, "Find Bigfoot." No, you're not really going to find Bigfoot. And he goes, "Am I Survivor Man or not? I told you I'm going to go find Bigfoot." And the other key that he had was either he finds Bigfoot with me, either I put up, or he proves me a fraud. So that was the hook. They said, "Okay, you're Survivor Man." So in their minds, they're going, "Well, Todd Standing's got to be a fraud. His evidence has got to be fake. He can't. And if anybody's going to expose him, it's going to be Survivor Man. He is the best. He's the best filmmaker, survivalist, outdoorsman. Never seen anybody that can touch him. I mean, he's a pro director. He's a pro with producing in films, and he's a pro. He knows the business. He's amazing. He knows it inside out, back. 10 years of TV. He knows the executives. He knows how to do stuff. He's amazing." And at the end of the day, what happened? I showed him a Sasquatch. Every episode, he was live interacting with them. So, and I cannot believe how amazing, how absolutely amazing evidence that is, because of what Survivor Man did, having the intestinal fortitude to come out and get her done, and barely got any traction from that, did we? Look at me, I'm not even, Sasquatch researchers, am I even, I don't know, what popularity? Am I very popular? Is my YouTube channel? There are guys that have never done anything that are full of crap, and real people that I've met that are real low lives, and they're much more popular than me. So, and Survivor Man would say that about Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls is a fraud. That TV show is fake. He's a really nice guy. I think he's a wonderfully nice man, and I'm happy for his success with the TV show, but it's fake. And it's 10 times more popular than Survivor Man. You think that doesn't upset less? Sure it does. It's insulting to know that someone who's completely a fraud, who's not, the show is fake and it's contrived. He did a real show, and the fake show was 10 times more popular. He really risked himself. He really put himself out there and did those things. And the other guy was a fraud about it, and that's the world we live in, right? So we accept those things. I have to accept those things. So just one more question. I'm having fun with you guys. John Everett, Portland, Oregon, home of some of the best Sasquatches, rain, snow, sun, we got it all. So excited about Oregon. I got connections to Oregon. I don't know what's happening with Oregon, but just for the first time in this last year, just Oregon's just fallen into place, and I'm really excited. I have an expeditioner who's born and raised in Oregon, and I'm really excited to be working with her. And and then all these people telling me stuff about Oregon, so I'm really excited about Oregon. In fact, let me give a little. My goal is, I just spoke about this week. I know this is a big goal. I'm going to say it though. I'd like the very second. So I have a Discovering Bigfoot Research Center. It's the Discovering. I'm very proud of that. I don't know, people talk about it, and it's real. It's here. I'm going through a terrible divorce right now, but and that's slowed me down. That's life. It just slows you down. But the research center is going good, and I'm a year behind, but still things are really good. I'm really happy with the forward movement with it. So I have a research center in the Radium area. I'd like the second Discovering Bigfoot Research Center to be in Oregon. So things are falling in place. I have this tendency, when a pathway opens up, I just go with it. It's not that I'm taking the path of least resistance. There's going to be resistance, but just doors have opened up to me, and I'm feeling really good about it. And boy, that would make me so happy. So I would have thought it would be Washington, and who knows what's going to happen with Washington? It's because it's such what a brilliant, amazing, fantastic. Oh, I love Washington, man. Well, I'm gonna start going to Washington every year, because my God, and the people that I've met out in Washington, want to see me get speechless for how wonderful and amazing these people that guided me out in Washington are. And there's so many more, and I'm so excited about that. But just anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't want to make any promises about stuff, but I'm gonna just do the best I can with it. I want to have Discovering Bigfoot research centers in multiple places, so we'll see how that goes. And Ashley is asking me a question here. Ashley from Washington, could someone link the video for Survivor Man if it's on YouTube? I actually haven't seen it. Oh, Ashley, send me an email on Facebook, Ashley. I'll take care of you. Okay? We'll figure that stuff out. The Survivor Man Bigfoots they're not really available anywhere. So, but I can help you out with that. Ashley, I consider you. We haven't been on expedition together, but I don't know. I'm really pleased. She's a Washington State girl, and she seems to be having. I don't know. I just like her. Maybe I have a soft spot for Washington people, but I just see that you're out there. I like the questions you're asking. So, and anybody who wants to see that stuff, just send me an email through the website or through Facebook. Facebook's a little dicey because sometimes I get way too many and it's hard. But yeah, I'd love it if you got to see those episodes. I'd love to find a way to get them out there a little more. But yeah, they're not on. If you see them on YouTube, they won't be there for long. Survivor Man, that's his property. Those are his. He paid for those episodes. He worked very hard for them. So, anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Listen to Bigfoot North Radio podcast with host Todd Standing April. Oh wow, yeah, the Voice America shows. Man, I love doing those. Oh my God, I had so much fun. Thanks for putting those out there, Amanda. Todd has more real interactions time with Bigfoot. And remember, Phil, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's not about who has more or I can't stand that better, who's more, all that stuff. So, because so many, I want to just encourage people. Thank all the people that are doing the little things that you do matter so much. Ashley, it could be you that gets that piece of footage. I'd be so proud. I'd be so honored. Just any one of you guys out there. SoCal Forest Ninjas was here today. Northwest Olympics. So many people that are working so hard. Really, I want you to have tremendous success. I'm pulling. You guys are pulling for me. I feel the support. I want you guys to know I'm pulling for you so immensely. I want to see good footage. I want to see good success with this discovery. And anybody can do it, guys. Any one of you can go out there and have some wonderful, incredible encounter that brings us to the next level. So practice with your cameras. Practice at home. Practice filming birds. Get a good camera. I like the Canon SX. I have the SX50. I think they have the SX80 now. Those are my favorite cameras. Really a tough, good camera with a crazy, 50, 60 times optical zoom. Fantastic, tough cameras that work really, really well. That's what I filmed my Video 8 Kubota with. I would have never got that footage. There's no camera that can zoom in and light up a dark spot. It's crazy, that kind of technology. So that's the camera I really recommend. They're about $400, quite affordable. Canon quality, Canon codecs. It's not a paid advertisement at all. I have my SX50. I filmed the SX50 that I filmed the Sasquatch with is still here somewhere. I mean, it's not the toughest camera in the world. It doesn't do all weather, but just take care of it, wrap it, get a cover for it. They're pretty great cameras. And if it does break down, if something does happen, it's only $400. I had this camera. This is an all weather. This is the Survivor Man camera. This is the NX Sony cam all weather. Was supposed to be tough as nails. No, It is. It's a tough camera. No disrespect for it, but it only has 10 times optical zoom. Whereas the new SX80 or 70, it's got 65 times That's insane. This is 10 times optical zoom, and those are 65 times optical. That blows it right out of the water. And then they're so automated. They're so easy to use. The videos are so great. I can't say enough about them. I'm just trying to help with stuff, guys. The SX camera, the Canon that just sits on my chest. You'll see me in photographs with it. Just sits right on my chest, and I can just hit a button. The power button's right on top. Boom, hit a button. It's recording. Boom, or two buttons. Boom, boom, right? So, but as another camera, you can't leave it on all the time because the battery only lasts an hour. Just like the Hero Cam, sometimes the batteries only last 40 minutes. So it's something you do have to put the battery. You can't have 20 batteries and change your battery every hour. It's preposterous, guys. It's just not real to do that kind of stuff. But anyways, thanks so much, guys. Awesome show. And it'll be a Thursday. I'm really pleased with my support on YouTube. Really, really pleased with it. And yeah, you guys are amazing. tune in next week. If you're not on Facebook, you could send me questions through the website. My website's discoveringbigfoot.org. Thank you so much, Amanda, at bigfootencounter@gmail.com if you have evidence. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And we'll be back again next Wednesday. Thursday, there'll be a video. Sunday, I don't even know what they are. I'm doing post-production every day, going through footage. I get emails. I literally have no idea what Throwback Thursday is going to be tomorrow. No clue. I'll just get up and start working on it. And, so, yeah, thanks so much, guys. And take care.